Hi, I'm going to show you how to draw hands. First, sorry, did you want more of an intro than that? My credentials? Here. We're good? You trust me now? Okay, let's go. Pick a reference photo. I don't care what it looks like, just open Pinterest, Google, or take a picture of your own hand. Got it? Okay, double check that it's not AI. It's not? You're sure? Okay, so you have your photo. Bam, slap it in there. Now you can choose if you want to trace the structure of the hand directly on the photo or next to the photo. But isn't that cheating? Shut up, I don't care. In a world where AI slop is being injected directly into the veins of the internet, I don't care how you draw. As long as you pick up a pen and use your hand to draw instead of typing Sonic Shadow Mpreg into an AI generator, you're an artist. Okay, we've got our photo. If you're drawing directly on the photo, lower the opacity so you can see your pen strokes. I recommend working with your pen at 30% opacity. If you're drawing traditionally, ignore that. Obviously. When you draw a hand, it's basically going to be a rectangular box with 3 cylinders for each finger. These boxes are going to help a lot when you start working with foreshortening. Do not fuck with foreshortening right now. Even a well-seasoned artist struggle with foreshortening. Learn the structures of the hands on as flat of a plane as you can. Trust me, you'll save yourself a lot of tears learning anatomy on flat figures. We'll tackle foreshortening later. We've got shapes. Now, on your fingers, the only shape that needs to be different is the top shape. Look at your hand. Look at it! See how the top segments of your fingers round off? Do that. All right, now, come in close. Here's the thing. Drawing is strategic lying. If I were to copy this hand verbatim, hell, even if I straight up traced the hand, it's going to look worse than the photo. Why? Well, for a lot of reasons, many of which dealing with the suspension of disbelief, the transfer of the medium of a photo to a drawing, and other things I'm not getting into. It's bad, okay? It looks bad, and we know that. So, instead of translating this hand exactly, I'm gonna wiggle it around a little bit. Generally, when you draw, you want things to follow a C curve or an S curve, because those shapes look good to my eyeball. Some people have asked me what I mean when I say draw an S curve or a C curve, and I mean literally write the letter S or C and smush your drawing around until it follows the line that makes one of those shapes. For my hand, I'm gonna make an S shape since the hand I have is already going towards that shape. Okay, shapes, wiggled. I would still consider this part of the reference layer. It's essentially a study, right? We're just trying to figure out what the fuck a hand looks like with this layer. Now we're going to move to a sketch layer. And you might be sitting there thinking, damn, that's a lot of work just for it to not even be part of the sketch. Do I really need to do this work every time? No, not always. But right now, yes, you need to do this every time. Think of it like this. Every time you draw from a reference, you're putting a book in the library of your brain. Right now, your library is empty. You're looking for books on an empty shelf, babe. You can't build research from nothing. So for me, someone who's been drawing for 10 years with a BFA in illustration and animation, no, I don't do this every time I draw hands. But for you, the person watching a YouTube video on the process of how to draw a hand, yes, you need to be doing this every time. So we've got our base. You better. Now we're gonna start drawing the hand. Don't worry about the details. In fact, I don't want you to even look at the details. If I so much as see a soft curve, I swear to God. We're sketching, okay? It's not surgery. You can draw some wrong lines, you'll live. Get the vague shape of a hand in there. Draw the big lines like the meat below the thumb and any big creases in your hand. And please, for the love of God, draw a wrist and a little bit of forearm. You don't have to draw the whole thing, just a little bit, just a tease. It looks so much better than a hand severed at the wrist. This is something you should take into all of your non-full body drawings. Don't stop your drawings at joints. It looks like you're chopping something off to feed to the gators in Florida. Now, I recommend you do another sketch layer. I know, we want to move to line art, but we're learning, we're listening, we're loving. We're not going to complain about practice, okay? This is how we fight our emerging AI overlords, by enjoying the process and not the product, okay? Remember, you're adding books to your library, and you're not learning much from a thin book. So I do recommend another sketch layer where you further refine the hand, building off your previous work to make this one even better. And while you're doing that and not skipping to the part of the video where we do line art, I'm gonna give you some quick tips to keep in mind while you're drawing hands. Straight fingers tend to make this shape, with the middle finger almost always being the tallest finger on the hand. The index and ring fingers are roughly the same size, though one may be taller than the other depending on the hand. Your pinky finger is 2/3 the height of your other fingers. However, you should note when you turn your hand around and curl your fingers in, they're all the same height, with the tops of your knuckles making this nice rounded shape. With your hand flexed, the top of your pinky should fall below the top segment of your other fingers. Your thumb and pinky are roughly the same height, with your thumb being twice the width of your pinky. If you're ever unsure of how big to make your hand, remember that most people's hands are the same length as their face. If you press your wrist to your chin and stretch your middle finger to the top of your face, you'll likely be able to touch within a centimeter of your hairline. Unless you're bald, in which case, I'm sorry. That sucks. Also, your thumb and pinky stretched across your face should be roughly the same width as your face. Go ahead, try it. Just smush your nose down and grab your cheekbones. You really don't need to breathe that badly anyway. If you're ever struggling getting dimension into your hands, you likely need more details. Add some lines where the segments of your fingers meet and begin to bend. Add at least a hint of a nail bed at the end of your fingers. It makes more of a difference than you think. And if you're ever not sure how to get a certain hand pose, study your own hand. You've got 2 of them, believe it or not. Well, you do. I have way more. But lucky for you, I'm obsessed with humans, so I know, a lot about this. Oop, looks like it's line art time. We're not gonna finish our lines, right? We already watched the other video about all the things that clock you as a new artist, right? Okay. Just checking. So the line art is the easy part, right? Wrong! Line art is where we're making choices. I just handed you a bowl of trail mix and you need to pick out the M&Ms. Some of the details in your sketch might not make it into your final product. That's fine. This is why you want to spend so much time on the sketch. It's easier to take lines away than it is to add new lines that were never part of your sketch. You may notice in my line art that I am adding lines that were never part of the sketch. That's because my library is filled, babes. I've studied musculature, skeletal structure, hell, I have an 8-foot blue skeleton in my closet. Open to baby names, by the way. Haven't found one I like yet. I've been where you've been. Wanting to spread my wings and just be good at drawing. I didn't want to practice, I just wanted to make the thing. I just wanted to draw and have it be exactly the way I want. I'm willing to bet you're stuck here too. You're in the gap. Not that gap, come back. You might have seen this idea floating around the internet, being stuck in the gap. The gap refers to when your taste outpaces your ability. You know what you want, but you're not able to produce it yet. Keyword, yet. You are absolutely capable of closing that gap and reaching a level of competency that you are happy with. But that takes a lot of time and a lot of practice. I need you to remember that what you're watching me do right now is the end product of 10 years of study and practice. I got a whole ass degree and still wasn't happy with how my art looked until this year. And I only got here by practicing, by making something I wasn't happy with and choosing to try again. And if you're sitting here thinking, 10 years, that's so long, the time will pass anyway. Do you want to reach the end of those 10 years feeling more competent as an artist? Or do you want to complain about how hard it is to draw hands for 10 years? Anyway, yay, line art, we did it! We drew hands together, guys, high five! Before we go, I do have some fun facts for you. Fun hand-related facts. Who doesn't love that? Your pinky and ring fingers are connected to the same tendons, and it's very difficult to move them independent of one another without holding one of them down. Go ahead, try it. Try it right now. You look stupid. It's okay, I did it too when I wrote the script. But it's a good thing to keep in mind when drawing fingers. Your ring and pinky fingers are weaker than the others and usually move in sync with one another. As complicated as hands are, it's important to keep in mind that your fingers are more or less just a pulley system. Put your hand on top of your forearm and wiggle the fingers of your floating hand. Aren't you gonna do it? I promise I won't call you stupid this time. Pinky promise. Well, I don't have any pinkies, but the sentiment still stands. When you wiggle your fingers, you can feel that pulley system in your arm. You can feel how it moves, tenses, and relaxes as you move your fingers. This isn't vital to drawing hands. I just think it's cool to know how stuff works. Okay, that's all my handy tips. Who the fuck put that in my cards?
I thought it was pretty good.
I think your puns are getting a little out of hand.
Don't encourage him.